Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending our webinar. The webinar will start in a few minutes' time. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow enthusiasts in the field of human-machine interface and supervisory control and data acquisition systems, I am thrilled to welcome you to today's enlightening session on the latest market trends in HMI SCADA technology. We have a special treat in store for you as we are joined by an esteemed expert from AVEVA, Ms. Cormay Lee, who will be sharing her insights shortly. The agenda of our webinar today is as shown on screen: market trends in HMI SCADA and the power of cloud analytics for HMI SCADA with AVEVA. This will be followed by a Q&A session. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself as Goh Zhen Long, editor of IAA Magazine. Today, I am pleased to deliver IAA's introductory presentation on market trends in HMI and SCADA as a precursor to the keynote delivered by Ms. Cormay Lee of AVEVA. Based on API Research's findings, the SCADA HMI software market will grow 5 billion over the next decade. Again, based on API Research's findings on SCADA HMI software suppliers, AVEVA is in the mainstream of automation software vendors. SCADA HMI software market is set to grow to 11.3 billion in 2033 as manufacturers face ongoing market pressures and seek to drive digital transformation, according to API Research. SCADA HMI software market to grow to 11.3 billion in 2033 as manufacturers face ongoing market pressures and seek to drive digital transformation. The top spending manufacturing markets on SCADA HMI software are computer and electronic manufacturing, machinery manufacturing, and other transport manufacturing. The SCADA HMI software market is moving towards holistic, yet modular, end-to-end portfolio solutions. Software as a service, easy integration, and identifiable product differentiation help vendors stand out. API Research, a global technology intelligence firm, forecasts that by 2030, connected machines and production systems within factories will exceed 1.2 billion connections. Industrial 4.0 and Industrial Internet technology investments are expected to grow from 41 billion in 2022 to nearly 200 billion by 2030. This burgeoning environment expands the attack vector and will contribute to various security solutions given the assortment of networks, endpoints, and connection protocol heterogeneity. Join us as we look at market trends in SCADA systems. We'll begin with an overview of the SCADA market, explore key players in the industry, touch on the trends and drivers shaping this dynamic field, and also discuss market growth projections, regional insights, key application areas, technological advancements, security concerns, and conclude with a glimpse into the future of SCADA systems. Now let's delve into the factors driving this remarkable growth. SCADA adoption is being propelled by the relentless march of automation across industries. It plays a pivotal role in managing data, energy, and diagnostics efficiently. Urban infrastructure projects are also supporting SCADA's rise. SCADA is at the heart of Industry 4, enabling smart factories. The advent of 5G technology promises to revolutionize SCADA for even smarter manufacturing. Moreover, SCADA's and synergy with IoT and AI is fueling its expansion. The cloud-based SCADA model is gaining traction alongside big data analytics and integration with corporate IT systems. SCADA HMI applications are enhancing monitoring and control, while we also explore the debate between RTUs and advanced PLCs in the evolving landscape. Global market growth projections. The US market in 2022 is 3.1 billion. China's forecasted growth at 7.4% CAGR. Japan and Canada at 4.3% and 5.2% CAGR. Germany's forecasted growth at 4.8% CAGR. SCADA's versatility shines through in its applications. From the power sector to renewable energy plants, smart grids, and utilities, SCADA plays a pivotal role in ensuring efficient operations. It's a critical tool in the oil and gas industry, optimizing processes. Smart water networks and agriculture also benefit from SCADA's precision, and solar operators rely on it for seamless operations. Technology is a driving force. Mobile SCADA allows for on-the-go control and monitoring. Wireless SCADA developments offer increased flexibility. Cloud-based SCADA as a service is gaining momentum, and big data analytics enhance efficiency. The integration of SCADA with corporate IT systems is a notable trend. We also delve into the options of remote monitoring and management, and the choice between RTUs and advanced PLCs. Security is paramount. We will discuss the importance of cybersecurity in SCADA systems, especially given their role in critical infrastructure. The power sector faces specific cyber threats, and the oil and gas industry grapples with data security concerns. Protecting smart grids from vulnerabilities is crucial, and we'll examine the critical and unique security challenges in the agriculture sector. With this, I hand over to our esteemed speaker from AVEVA, Ms. Kwame Dee, to give her presentation.
Thank you for having me today. Before we start the webinar, there's a few housekeeping notes. This webinar is being recorded. We will be providing the recording and slides after the webinar. You can expect an email within a few days. We summarize the analyst research in general, indicating that the challenges for industrial operations are mainly surrounding. First, accessibility for all functional teams to the plant information using the system in place today. Second, data-driven visibility is a challenge where most of the time spent in preparing and cleansing data, as opposed to doing analysis for improvement or problem solving. Third, responsiveness to issues after breakdown is more expensive than pre-failure action. Lastly, the ability of accelerating and scaling results when building a responsive worker and getting the wheel moving is more likely to outperform against corporate goals. So we should ask what can be done with our existing and new investment of HMI or SCADA that can speed up information's accessibility from production flow to wider target business user. The additional challenges for HMI or SCADA system are about: number one, the lack of support of solving operational issues that dominate staff attentions away from being productive. From some routine issue require a system like deviated operating conditions require a standard escalations or alert workflow. So more time can be spent to find root cause of new problems. Number 2, isolated from internet for security purpose. Aviva HMI or SCADA has been developed to support cybersecurity practices such as advice on secure connections and encrypted communications between client and server. Number 3, terminology. Some OT naming and terminology are not familiar to outside user, especially the business user. So this has caused the supervisory system to be separated from broader operational context. For most of you, moving to the cloud just doesn't make sense. You already have your investment in on-premises infrastructure and applications, and they are not broken yet. For online, you think about them for new projects and for new technology refresh. For most of you may never take supervisory control to online solutions because of safety and security concerns. Recognize there are certain options hybrid. Don't do away with existing solutions, but supplement them with online solutions, which help you realize the value much sooner, but without the cost and risk of impacting your existing solutions. Research done last year found that over half of customers view historian solutions as the best first step toward the cloud as a hybrid. So where does it make the most sense to apply hybrid solutions? Our answer is Aviva Insight. This is a cloud-based solution to help you to enable your team collaborations, provide easy access to actionable insight. By first unlock and share critical data in the cloud, accessed by individual roles. Second, connect workers and increase collaborations where you can add notes and share URL of your dashboard content to other team members. Third, improve operational performance and asset reliability as the result of being connected, assisted by automated analytics and guided analytics. We hope the platform will reach out to your team for being able to ad hoc exploring informations and detailed time series operational data and do summary reporting. By making routine informations ready, then we have utilizations monitoring of equipment or production line utilizations and OEE. Next, automated and guided analytics to detect anomalies, reduce risk, and save costs from early detections of breakdown. And we have contextualizations with BI Gateway by adding operational context and extending it to your preferred BI tools for in-depth analysis. Aviva Insight can be taken as a process analytics. It's easy to start, simple to use, and out of the box. It provides secure access from any locations, from any device, and it provides search-based navigations, do time series analysis, embed process graphics, geolocations and mapping, and customizable dashboard. And it provides utilizations and efficiency analysis, conditions management, alerts, and notifications. You can do automated analytics using unsupervised machine learning and have connectivity to Aviva HMI or SCADA products with 18 industrial standards protocols and REST API, all designed with security in mind. Let's go a bit further on the capabilities. The ad hoc analysis based on new scenario or use case in your operations by making use of the tag-based data, contextualize them for insights. The search-based features allow quicker information search and intuitive for creating dashboard content. The automated analytics in Aviva Insights are fully automatic. Upon publishing of the data, it uses machine learning to learn normal behavior and able to tell anomaly behavior as it learns over time. The appearance of anomaly detections is in newsfeed that receive feedback from user if it is good or bad and recalculates the accuracy score as part of machine learning algorithm. As it is a generic model, these automated analytics, however, have few limitations. So this may be good for routine equipment conditions such as filtration pressure or running conveyor belt motor temperature, to detect early deteriorations of equipment performance. The guided analytics in Aviva Insight is an easy self-service AI model for anomaly detections on assets that involve multiple variable inputs. The results of anomaly detections are also displayed in newsfeed format. Next is Aviva Insight performance are about OEE and equipment utilizations measurement. We provide manual and automated data collections and reporting of production line performance, so user can do KPI comparisons across equipment and do detailed root cause analysis. Aviva BI Gateway, which the BI means business intelligence, provide valuable operational data to business users. It stores operational data from Aviva Insight, which user can do data modeling based on key KPI and metrics based on time series and business data. The required data are then stored in Azure SQL database. Then user can use their preferred IT or BI tools to query data faster without the need to work with REST API. Let's discover how the solutions can be achieved. By having Aviva supervisory system in place, we use out-of-the-box Aviva Insight Publisher to establish the required data attributes structure and stream data in the backend. The data captured by Aviva Insight are stored in the cloud with strict security, and that provides a backup of your operational data meaningful for the user to manipulate for their application scenario. In all, it is easy with Insight Publisher. It's cost-effective for small applications, remove obstacles to capture end user using historical data. Aviva Insight data connectivity is broad. Here we can see the built-in publisher are cloud-enabled and ready for all HMI SCADA by Aviva, which supports various industry standard protocols. It is secure to connect to Aviva Insight, which the method of deploying DMZ is considered, and with the outbound connections at firewall. Aviva Insight endpoints are limited and allowed only one-way or outbound connections from supervisory system to the cloud. So now I invite my colleague Sean Davison to show us what is available in Aviva Insight. Over to you, Sean.
Start from the beginning. Let's start like you want to use this insight. You guys are super excited about this. I'm going to actually start from the very beginning. How do I get started? So online.wonderware.com is the site that you would go to get started with this. And right here on the page, if you already have an account, you would sign in. But we're assuming that you are going to do a free trial with us. So we actually have a 45-day trial where you can actually play with this, unlock it, and use the power of Insight right away. So I want to show you how easy that is to get started. So I'm going to sign up for a trial. First thing is, when you get here, there is a try demo. That was also a button on the previous screen. You can actually do that, and it will let you play with the product. There's already a bunch of content in there. That's a great way to go in, click on stuff, not worry about hurting anything, and just play with it, right? In addition, these 4 buttons will actually take you to a help. So if you're trying to figure out how to use our Aviva Historian to send information to Insight, you can do this. It'll click on a new tab. It'll open a new tab. And it'll take you right to the Historian data source that will walk you right through ways of implementing this. And then all the other help menu information you need is also here as well. So if you're doing an OPC or something with Edge, all of that's in here. All right, so with that said, what I'm going to do is create a new trial. So to do this, I'm going to create a trial solution. Now, we do federate our login to this. So if you have a single sign-on like I do with my company, then it will actually go to a single sign-on. However, if I go and use some brand new email that we aren't familiar with, also then our system will say, okay, you're a new user. and or it's actually trying to sign you in as a non-federated user. However, I need to register because this user is not in our system. I'm trying to do a brand new one. So I'm actually going to hit this register down at the bottom. Now, when I hit that, it's going to take my email I typed in and put that in. And it's looking for the password that I want to use. So I'm going to create a password here. And then it wants to know my name, so I'm going to put in Insight as my name, and my last name is user so that it matches my email up there just for the fun of it. And I'm going to hit next. At which point it now wants to know what is the company name. So let's just say this is a Aviva customer. It wants an address. So I'm just going to actually use an address for our office in California. And I can hit the first letter of U to get down to the United States. We're going to pick a region, hit C for California. And then I need to look at the terms and conditions. And of course, I'm going to read all of that to you guys right now and then agree. And then we'll register. So at this point, it says, thank you for registering into Aviva. Please check your inbox at the email that I used to complete the process. All right. So at this point, now I'm going to be opening up my email system and waiting for an email to come in. And so if I just pull over this email account that I just made, you'll see that right here I have an Aviva Connect. So I click on that and it says, hey, will you please verify your email? So I'll verify my email. And now it's ready for me to sign in. All right, so I can put in my password that I just created with that. I can sign in. And it's now welcoming me to my new Aviva Insight account. So as part of that, there's an Aviva Connect account that's automatically generated as well. And if I hit next on this, it just wants to know where my region is. I can say next. And then it's wanting me to give it a name. So my solution that I'm doing right now needs some kind of name that I'm going to give it. So this could have be anything. It could be the location where the office is. It could be a particular type of product you're working on, whatever you want to give it. So let's just say that I live in Oregon, so let's put Oregon as my solution name. So I'm going to hit create solution. And within just a few seconds, it is actually going to bring up our Insight solution called Oregon. So this process really doesn't take that long. And in the background, it's creating an instance for us to do all of our work in. This is where we're going to start building out the content of what we want to do with our Insight solution. All right, so that should be loading any second. What we are going to be doing next is now getting ready to put some data into our Insight solution, because at this point you're going to find that it's a completely blank solution. Every now and again, I don't know if it's internet or what it is, but I get a gotta sign in again here. And there's our solution. So now we're in. If you, just to kind of get the lay of the land, first of all, it's telling me I have a 45-day trial that I've just started, and I can upgrade that at any time to a full-on solution once I'm happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and close that banner just to get a little more space. On the top right-hand side, just a little bit of housekeeping is that I can see that I've got my profile. So here I can see that I'm Insight user. That would be the name of you, whoever's logged in. You could actually look at your profile and change things with that. If you have multiple solutions, you could switch or just sign out. So those are kind of things you can do from up there. But as you can see, we have no content, we have no dashboards, we have nothing going on. What I'm going to do is go to administration because I am an admin on my new account that I just put in. This is where you can create a lot of things in the background. The first thing I really want to do is put in a data source. And as you can see, there's no data sources currently at this time. So if I want to, if I'm in a solution where I need to, it's not another Aviva solution that already has pre-built-in publishers, I can go to this downloads button and I can actually download, as Elliot was telling you about, the DMZ Secure Link is here. There's also an Insight publisher here. And there's also for one of our other products, a Plant SCADA connector. So these things can be downloaded just by logging into the computer that you want to start doing this with, downloading one of these, and then proceeding with getting ready to publish some data. However, what we're going to do is we are going to pull up an application that I already have running so that I can pull some data into the solution. So I have another computer here, and it has a historian, a Viva historian running. What I want to do is I've got lots of data in this particular solution. This is a power, renewables kind of power. So I got all kinds of turbines and solar. What I want to do is I want to bring over information about these into my Insight application so I can start playing with them. So I'm going to drill down into my historian until I get to this thing called replication servers. At which point I'm now going to create a new replication server, and I'm going to now change this from being a replication of historian to Insight. So I can pick Insight as my replication, at which point it's also going to want a name for my solution. And so I'm just going to call this Insight Power or something like that. And then I need to register it. So when I register it, what it's going to do is have me log in, and it's going to automatically pull up that Insight Publisher application that I just showed you how to download on the other on the site. I'm actually going to use this to now make that connection. So in order to make a connection between my on-premise data and the Insight in the cloud, I need to run this publisher, which will make that connection for me to an existing account, which I just created. And now we can go in here and put in insight.user@aol.com, put in my password, and sign in. So this is now making that connection into my Oregon site that I made within Insight. And it wants to know the name of my source of data. This is going to be my renewables. And we'll hit next. And the location, if I want, I'll just put Oregon. And then we'll hit next. These are if you want to give the latitude, longitude. So if you're going to use the mapping, this is information you can put in. I'm going to skip that for now and just go right to publish. Those can be added later, by the way, by just looking at the profile. So you can see that it went out and found basically a secret hash code that knows how to make that connection between my on-premise and my cloud connection. So at this point, I've done everything I need to do here. I'm going to hit next, and I'm going to hit finish. All right. Now, the important thing here is that we did set a connection, but we have not decided what tags are going to be part of this connection. And so Insight Power is the one I just did. And there's 3 different ways that I can get data from my historian and publish that to Insight. For today, I'm just going to use this simple replication. So I want to add multiple tags. I could add a single tag, but I'm going to do multiple tags. And what I'm going to do here is just do a quick search. So if I just type in the word power, for example, and say find now, it's going to go out and find every tag that's in my application that has the word power in it and throw them in this list. And I may have some here that may or may not work when we go to toss them over because I just went through all the powers, but I can just hit this button or I could pick and choose which ones I want with a single guy. But I'm just going to, for the sake of today, just throw them all in, and I'm going to say OK. So at this point, what it's given me the option to do is it's given me a destination tag name and my source tag name. And if for whatever reason I want to change it slightly because the tag name is not quite working, I actually could edit one of these. I'm just going to go ahead and say apply. It actually looked at all these, said they passed, and then I can say close. So now, simple replication, I've now picked all the tags that I want to go to my Insight application. However, I haven't committed those changes. I'm just kind of looking at it as what's going to happen. So there is a button up here that says I want to commit these pending data changes. So I go ahead and say commit them and done. All of them are committed. Now, at this point, I'm going to leave this application and we're going to go back to our Insight application, at which point when I click on our data sources, guess what? There's renewables. So it now has these renewables as part of the solution of my data sources. It knows how to get that information now. Now, this may take a second or two, but we will start seeing data come in here very shortly. And there they are. So it's actually already starting to see data. So if you can see when I went to the home page, and this is part of that beautiful search that you were being shown by Elliot in the video that he had there on the screen. When you come up here, I can say, you know what? I just want to find all the power, let's see, battery, and I can keep typing, but that got me to a point where I have already what I want. So I'm looking at all of my tags that have the word battery in them. And I can say, you know what? I want all of those, and I want you to create some content for me. As soon as it did that, guess what? We are starting to get data already from something we just published seconds ago. So here's the data that we have. This is just in like a grid format that's just telling me, displaying what's going on. It's actually more, yeah, I mean, you'll see it here in a second. But when you see on this, you can see that right now I'm looking at today. So you already have a time data, so you could go to 1 hour. You can see already that we're starting to get a little more information coming in over this last hour. Obviously, we just made this, so it's going to take a little while to fill in this data. If I go to settings, for example, now I can actually say, how do I want to show this data? Do I want a line chart? And it'll create a line chart. Do I want a pie chart? So then it'll create a pie chart of what it looks like. Do I want to include a graphic or an industrial graphic? Do I just want a status board, which is what you saw earlier? The grid is where it'll give me more information, which will then start giving you the average, min, max, last, all that kind of stuff. You could even just do a column chart or an XY plot if you have a couple things that you are putting together. So for this particular one, let's see, batteries, I think we'll just go with, we'll go with column on this one. All right, so column on this one, statistic-wise, you can now pick how you want it to show that information on the screen. So I may be looking at these. Do I want the average, the min, the max, the last? Maybe I want the last because I'm just looking at whatever the last value is. But if I want an average for that time frame, then I would, go with that. And then you can also decide whether it's hourly, daily, or how is that information being checked against this average. You can also change how you want to show the information on the screen. Do I want it to be raw data stacking, or do I want a percentage? So now we're at 0 to 100% across all of this information, but still stacked. And obviously the different amounts is showing you exactly what's there. And as you can see, when I highlight them, it tells me exactly what the values of those are. I'm going to go with none just to get the 5 different bars for now. And then the data button that we had up there also gives you a unique way to go, you know what? APAC isn't really showing me much right now. I'm just going to take that off the list. And so I can actually just remove it from my list. Or I can keep it on there however I want, but I can do that. I can also add expressions and add additional tags if I wanted to put more on here. All right, so with all that said, we are looking good. We go back to closing that out. And now I want to save this content because this is good content that I want to use going forward. And so I can come in here and say, well, this is my battery power. So battery power. Now, the next thing I get to do is I get to say, well, only I can see this. This is just something I'm working on. I don't want the rest of my team because at this point now maybe you've added other users, you've got more people on the team. And right now, though, I'm just working on it for me. Or I may say, this is content I want everybody to have access to, and say what? The whole team can have access to this. Now, we just got started, and as Elliot had mentioned, I can actually tie content information to an asset, which I'll show you in a little bit later. But yeah, so right now, I'm not going to worry about that. So I save my content, and then I can go back to the home. And now the home is now showing me the last thing I worked on. So the last thing I worked on was this battery power. So those are just kind of the things they're going to put on the screen. Where I'm going with this is I really want to build some dashboards that are going to be more informational about what we want to look at. So let's put a little more content on here. So let's go back in here now and let's look at Gen Power. So we got generators out here. So I'm going to go look at the generator power, create some new content, look at settings. We'll make that a line chart, and we'll save this, and we will put this as a team again, but we'll call this our Gen Power. And of course, we don't have a whole lot of data because we literally just started getting our data in. But let's do one more here. Let's go back to home. Let's pull in some more content, and maybe we'll look at total power. And so you can see there's a lot more countries here with total power. There's actually 47 of them. And so when I do click that many, it will always default to giving you just 5. And so at that point, that's where you go into the data and say, okay, well, yeah, I want to look at this. Africa's not really doing much right now. We'll take that off the list. Maybe we'll come down and add the US back on the list. And then that's good. And then maybe when we look at our way to show this, I'm going to put this actually in a pie chart. All right. So now I've done 3 different ways. I want to save this, and this is total power. Once again, my whole team can see it, save it, done. All right. So the intention here is that I wanted to show you now how easy it is to get data, to start an application from scratch, to get data immediately coming in, and now I've already put some content together for this application. But now I want to put a dashboard together. So if I go to dashboards, it will start listing all the content. So as you build this out, you may have lots and lots and lots of content already started, which is what the search is for. So you could narrow that search down with that and only show up what you want, or scroll through until you find what you want. But either way, I have these three things. All I got to do is click on them, and it puts them on the screen for me. All right, so there they are on the screen, looking great. And now what I can do is, again, I don't have a lot of data on here yet, but I could do things like this. I can move this card down and put it here. Maybe we'll take this card and put it down here. You get the idea. You can actually go in and remake how you want your dashboard to look. So I've now got the three pieces of content on one dashboard that I can go back to very easily now. And so I'll go ahead and hit save. And this is going to be my Power Dashboard that the whole team has access to. Save it. And voila, the whole team now has access to my dashboard. So I can now see the content that I've been presenting. I can also see the dashboards I'm starting to create. All right, that was just to show you how easy it is to get started. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and show you another application that is already kind of worked out in a lot more detail. So I'm going to log out of that application. And we're going to log back into an application that's a little more worked out already. So I just use the sign in now. It still has my old email in there. So let's put in my account. And it goes to my single sign-on because it recognizes that we're federated. It's going to ask for what solution. It would have asked my password, but I'm within the time limit of the last time that I logged into this, so it let me go right into it. So we're going to go right into one that I have a little more worked out called Wonder Brew Americas. So I'm going to go into this solution and just show you a little bit more. With the time that we have left here, I'll just show you a little bit more of what you are capable of doing. So what am I seeing? First thing is, this is all the content, again, that me as a user last was looking at, right? So this is going to bring up just the last few things I was looking at here in the center. On the right-hand side, this is the automatic anomaly detection that happens immediately after you start putting tags in. Now, our other solution hadn't run long enough because we literally just did it. This one's been running for a long time. So what it can do is it can say, you know what, your MASH 100, mean time between, well, that's not failure. Mean time between failures here, but bottom line is it flatlined. And so it's like, that's weird. That's an anomaly. Normally it's been going up and down over this time frame. Now it's flat. So it's kind of like just a warning that, hey, I've been looking at your data for you without even you asking, and it looks like there's an issue here that you may want to go pay attention to. So there's things like that. Also notice that you can put in graphics like we talked about. So this is someone that had their own graphic, they brought it in, and then they put information on the screen. Here's a more detailed content that had been put in here. Here's a roaster pie chart that shows a whole bunch about what's going on, another graphic. So these are different ways. All of this content is right here. So there's lots of different content that's been presented by my team. However, there's also dashboards. And so these are where all these dashboards have been put together. So if I go to Roaster 22, for example, it's a dashboard with just a bunch of information on it. If I go to Roaster 11, it's maybe a little different looking because I wanted to throw a graphic on there and put data on top of the graphic, and I've got all my curves. And so if I scroll down, I have lots of other information that was pertinent to me at this time. Let's look at this one just a little bit more. So I'm actually going to pop this out so I can take a look at it. There's a few things that you can do with these trends that are very nice. One, you can see that the cursor is very good at showing me exactly what's going on. But I can also add notes. So I can come in here and throw a note on this one, let's say, that says, you know, this malt here looks a little strong. I don't know, whatever I think it looks like to me, right? and I can say the whole team can see my note, and I can save that. That note now is permanently part of this moment in time. And so if I ever go back into my history down here, because right now we're looking at a long period of time, right? So if I look at an hour, I can see that much. If I look at 12 hours, it's going to shrink that up more. But there's that note that I made. And so, and it's basically going to be there in that moment in time from now on. All right. Other things that you can do is you can add alerts. So I can come up here and say, you know what? You know my email already because I've logged into this. So what I want you to do is come in and I want to look at an asset particularly. So let's say I look at my bottle line 1. Actually, this is a roaster more than a bottle line. That's optional, by the way, so I'm not going to worry about that. But bottom line is you can come in here and you've got all these values here. So I got this PV malt, and I can say when that PV malt is greater than 100 pounds, or if this one is greater than or equal to 20 pounds. So you can come in here and start putting in values that are going to be used for a determination. And if I say equal to, usually I'm going to say something more like less than or whatever. You can see there's also a couple more down here like between, not equal to, or between, but there's all kinds of different values you can do, right? So I can put in all these values, or I may look at this guy here and say, you know what, I don't care about the temperature on this particular evaluation, and just delete it out of my list. Bottom line is I now can make a condition that I want to monitor, and I can add in a condition if it wasn't on there already. I hit next. I get the ability to now have an alert action. Do I want it to create a work request? Do I want it to go right into a work order? Do I need my teamwork newsfeed post to get this information? So we have different ways of triggering how you want this information to be notified. But yeah, you can just go through this. You can also do prescriptive actions. So I can come in here, pick an asset and a failure mode, and we can put in prescriptive type actions on how you can resolve this. Bottom line is you can put in alerts that will then come right to your email when all those conditions line up. All right, just a few more things, and then I'm going to pass it back to Elliot here soon. But other things that we briefly talked about in his slides. OEE analysis, for example, is kind of built into the product. And so, we've got some OEE analysis going on in here. This is a bottling efficiency right here. And as you can see, I'm now starting to see what its availability is, what its downtime occurrences are, mean time between failures, mean time between repair. All these informations are on the screen. And these are all set up by having an asset and looking at particular information from our tags that we've been passing up into here. Another look is equipment efficiency. I don't have a lot in this particular demo, but on my brew kettles, I've got its runtime. Its OEE looks really bad in this particular one, but you saw some examples that Elliot showed on his slides where there were some really good examples of how you can set up the efficiencies here. Assets, when you want to build your assets up, you can come here, hit this plus, you can make a new asset. I can come down, for example, look at the bottling line 1. Now, what's cool about this is if you look at bottling line 1, for example, when I go to the asset, it will now take all that content, all those dashboards that I tied to just that asset and present them to me. So I actually have all those now for me to be able to look at, including, like I showed you, if I had put in the latitude and longitude for my particular assets in this case, it will actually even show those on the screen. That news feed I talked about. So when there's issues with the tags that are associated with this asset, they'll come, it narrows the news feed down to just the items for my bottle line, for example. And then guided analytics. I threw in a test earlier, but sometimes these take a little bit more to configure. But basically, I started a guided analytics test here. And all that was I just said, okay, I want to just create a new test. And it's called level test. I picked something that I wanted to use. I picked the tags that I want. I picked the condition filter that I'm looking for and what it's equal to. And then this will now start looking for those conditions to occur and give me a guided analytics model that I can follow. And I did that actually just by coming up here and creating a new process here. All right. So I've shown you quite a bit of information. There's so much more, but the idea today was to show you how easy it is to get started and how you can get that information directly coming in as quickly as possible. A couple other things I guess I didn't show was alarms. So any alarms that you have coming up from your system will be shown here. And so you can see, I can see all the alarms that are in my system that are in this list for me to evaluate. As well as all those alerts that I was talking about can also be listed here as well. Any alerts that have been put in place. With that said, to bring this to a conclusion.
Thank you, Sean. To sum up, the hybrid solutions make information more accessible, field process improvement initiative, enable self-service analysis and reporting anywhere and on any devices. I would like to share the use case of the City of Ashland Water Department. The solutions provide the accessibility of real-time information to site technicians. The data in the cloud has been established using the on-premise historian and SCADA system. This results in reductions of manpower to support water operations, automated notifications for responsiveness to issues, and get connected easily and securely. So we hope you are ready, that you can take advantage of the free 45-day trial, so you can try with your own system at no cost, with virtually no risk. This is a great tool to prove ROI and develop the necessary business case. So do access the live demo and free trial from the URL seen on the screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to about the end of our webinar today. Thank you very much for attending, and we are just in time for the Q&A session where we will address some of your questions. So looking at one of the questions, how can cloud analytics improve decision making in HMI SCADA systems? Maybe Ms. Peggy, would you like to enlighten us with some answers?
Yes, Chen, I'm sorry, my line was a bit bad, so I off my video. So on your questions about how can cloud analytics improve the decisions making in the system, well, I feel that the cloud analytics can enhance decision making by providing real-time insights into our customer operations. So it allows our customer to monitor and analyze data from various data sources, identifying trends and anomalies from the operations. So this data-driven approach empowers them to make informed decisions quickly, improving decisions and reduce downtime.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question, what security measures should companies take when integrating cloud analytics with their existing systems? This has been answered in the chat box. Is there anything that you would like to elaborate on this?
Yes, so when integrating cloud analytics, security is paramount. Companies should implement robust data encryptions, access controls, and regular security audits which will be supported by the system supplied. It's crucial to choose trusted cloud service provider with a strong track record in security to ensure your data remains protected.
Thank you very much. The next question is, can you share an example of how AI has reduced manual effort in industrial processes?
Well, AI can significantly reduce manual efforts. For instance, in predictive analytics, AI algorithms can analyze sensor data to predict equipment failures. This proactive approach allows maintenance team to schedule repairs before a breakdown happens, saving time and resources.
Okay, thank you. The next one, how does Aviva ensure data privacy when using cloud analytics? This has also been answered, I believe, in the chat box. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I would like to reiterate that data privacy is definitely top priority for Aviva. We adhere to strict data privacy regulations and utilize advanced encryption methods to safeguard data during transmissions and storage. So additionally, our cloud solutions are designed with privacy controls, ensuring your data remains confidential.
Okay, thank you very much. How can smaller companies with limited resources benefit from cloud analytics?
Yes, for even smaller companies can benefit. Many cloud analytics solutions offer scalable pricing models, so you can pay for what you use. Start with a focused use case like predictive maintenance and gradually expand as you see results. It's an accessible way to harness the power of analytics.
Hopefully, that's a very good answer. Thank you very much. With that, we would like to conclude our Q&A session. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you, Ms. Kaur, for sharing your expertise. And for those whose questions weren't addressed due to time constraints, we will be sure to send your questions to Aviva, and they will try to provide your answers via email. Thank you very much once again for attending our webinar.
Thank you.